Blue Lock legit dropped their best chapter ever. As in this chapter, we see Ego telling them exactly why they lost to France and then revealing something absolutely mind-blowing at the end. But to know more, you will have to wait. But trust me, there is a ton more stuff, so get ready. Alright, so starting off this chapter, also called Ego Is, it seems like we have a message from the manga team. The text says, "Apology. As the production of this week's chapter could not be completed in time, we are releasing the incomplete pages as they are. Once this chapter is collected into a full volume, it will be printed with the art completed and corrected. We wish to express our deepest apologies to all of you for the inconvenience and hope you will continue to enjoy reading Blue Lock." Now this message was pretty sweet, but in all honesty, I don't think any of us care that much. We should just be happy that we got the chapter. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's actually get into the chapter. Here we see Isagi sitting on the bench as he looks at everyone else, and he asks them what even ego is. We see both Rin and Shido look at him super confused. Nanase, on the other side, says that he has got a point. Now that he mentions it, it's a pretty vague concept. Hiyori just asks him what it is then, but he doesn't have to wait long for that answer as Bachira, behind him, tells him that he knows. He starts to point to his head and says that ego is the monster inside of him, and he's just so pure. After him, we have the goat Chigiri, who tells him that it's too based in feeling. He himself always thought it was more like your essential self, which is the explanation I liked the most. After him, it's Ryo, who says that for him, it's something a bit more self-centered, like the selfish portion of yourself. Yukimiya says that he understands that, and that it has the nuance of selfishly disregarding others. Gagamaru, however, says that he is with Chigiri on this one, and Otoya also agrees, saying that he doesn't think hurting others is what ego's all about. With that, we head back to Isagi, who asks if they see, explaining that they all clearly have different interpretations of the word ego, and that's why Blue Lock is in trouble now. He looks determined as he says that if they can get an agreement about what it means to be the world's top egotist, he thinks that the way for them to fight will become clear. Bachira tells him that it sure makes sense, and Aiku agrees and says that they should give it a try. Just then, however, someone says that it's a good plan. We see that it's Ego who walks into the locker room with Henri. Ego continues as he tells them that ego refers to the playstyle of one's life. He looks super ready as he says that it's how he defines it, at least. Isagi looks somewhat surprised but happy to see him. Anyway, back to the goat Ego. He says that humans are social creatures. In a multitude of ways, they cannot survive without human connections. In other words, from the time they're first aware, they subconsciously seek out ways to be involved with the world. That's the start of the game known as life. Then, as people navigate reality and their ideals through trial and error, they establish a sense of self. He asks them what they celebrate or rage against, what they mourn, and what they believe in. These choices are how they play the game of their own lives, telling all of them that the evaluation standard for all these decisions is nothing but ego, explaining that it's the compass for what sort of life they will live. Can I just come here and say that it sounds so insanely cool? We then see Sendu, and it feels like it has been ages since we saw him, but he says that he gets it. Otoya, on the side, asks if it's like your heart's compass. Yukimiya, who we can see is in thinking mode, says that it's true. He feels like his soccer performance improves when his ego is most aligned with his own playstyle. This really makes Hiyori think over time as he asks them to wait. He asks Ego if everything he has taught them so far, like flow, originality, and hunger, was just to force them to face their egos. Ego tells him that he is spot on, saying that the world's top egotist means the one who lives with a playstyle most suitable for being the best in the world. Aiku then adds on by saying that anyone without such a grandiose compass is useless, right? But we then see Isagi, who looks super just shocked. He starts to think and says that in that case, then he is right. The side of himself he found in the battle with Hugo, his playstyle as the rebel who devours the #1 player, is his ego's compass. He starts to really look locked in as he thinks that if he keeps honing this rebel playstyle and storms his way into becoming the world's best striker, he is then about to say something else, but just then someone has to, of course, interrupt his thoughts. We see that it's Karasu who looks super scary with him having this big dark shadow. He tells Ego that they lost to France because of his theory, explaining that Isagi and Rin followed their egos, which made them collide and botch the shot, saying that there's no denying that the reality is that they can't win by all trying to be the world's best egotists. Ego is just silent as he is listening in on Karasu, who then continues. He tells Ego that, to be honest, some of them here are starting to doubt his methods. He asks Ego if they can really trust Blue Lock and if he is actually right. Karasu looks extremely curious, I guess, as he asks Ego to tell him. asking him if, at this rate, they can really become the best in the world. Ego is still then just silent for a long while. Before then, out of nowhere, he legit starts to become almost like possessed and starts to laugh like never before. Like, I really don't think that we have ever seen Ego looking like this. It looks like he has completely lost everything as he just laughs in their faces. He doesn't stop at anything either as he keeps on going for a long while. And that just makes all of them look at him completely speechless. Everyone looks at him, stunned, as Ego then starts to talk. He tells them not to make him laugh. He asks them about trust and explains that those things don't matter. He starts to look like a crazy scientist as he asks them if they forgot that Blue Lock is an experiment to create the world's best striker, telling all 23 of them who are there that everyone else's lives will be ruined. He tells them all that they all agreed to that insane plan after all, asking if they really want to suddenly be sane. Ego continues as he says that sanity can buy security, but it can't buy dreams, saying that his madness fuels theirs and their madness fuels his, and that's how Blue Lock has made it this far. He looks at them completely wild as he tells them that if they doubt Ego, then they can just walk away for good. Hearing that makes all of them go completely silent. This makes Ego continue, as he says that it seems like they don't understand why they lost to France. He tells them that the main reason wasn't a strategic error or the enemy's strength. He then legit slams his hand into the monitor behind him as he screams right towards them that it was because some of them on that field didn't believe that they could be the world's best. Hearing that really seems like it hit Isagi really deeply as he looks affected by it. After that, we see the monitor, which was behind Ego. It is now fully cracked. Ego is then silent for like 1 second before he starts again. He tells them that they're supposed to be creating the world's best striker and that they're in this mess because they are looking for other ways to live. And like, I am fully speechless right now. Ego really just changed my entire mindset with this chapter because he is so cool. We then see him taking his hand away from the monitor and he has blood dripping from his hand. Seeing this makes all of the other players shake a bit. Ego, on the other hand, just gets more and more insane as he asks them if they are doubting him, asking them what about their own egos, and with that, he then calls them trash. After that, he then just casually starts to walk away, telling them that as a small mercy, this is still just the group league and that there's still a path for victory. But with that, he holds up his bloody hand and says that it's enough for this shitty day, saying that they should all go and cool their heads and calling them his lumps of talent, telling them to face tomorrow with a new kind of madness, which sounds so sick. But before he can leave, we hear Isagi speaking up. He says that in that case, he should be left out of the next match. Hearing that leaves both Anri and Bachira in complete awe as they can't believe what they just heard. Isagi, however, looks insane as he tells Ego that it's as he said. There was a point where he lost sight of trying to be number one. That's why the team fell apart. The way that they have been doing things is no good, explaining that it's time for Blue Lock to be reborn, and for that, he should please leave him out this time. Ego then slowly turns around. It's completely dark behind him, as he says that he plans on doing that gamble with Blue Lock being reborn again. However, Isagi will not be the one who is left out. This really leaves him in complete awe, but Ego then continues as he says that the one who's out is Rin. Now Rin is the one who looks extremely confused before that confusion, then quickly turns into anger as he looks like he is straight up going to kill Ego. But seriously, what in the world did the gods drop us in this insane chapter? Anyway, with that, I can say that first off, I'm not fully sure, but it looks like there is no break next week, which is such an amazing thing if that's true. But I have also seen some people saying that the author is sick, so if he is, then I wish him a speedy recovery. Also, once again, not sure if it's true, but it looks like the next chapter is going to be called Ego Traits. Now that is something that really intrigues me, but I can't say for sure yet, as we don't fully know what it's going to be about. Any talk that is about one's ego is often pretty interesting, so we just have to hope for it. Anyway, this chapter was amazing. It does seem like you guys don't like it when my chapter reviews get super long, so I will keep it brief. But Ego just changed the entire story. Him telling the players that they lost because some of them didn't believe that they were the best in the world is completely insane. He heard when Karasu said that some of them had started to doubt Ego, and he couldn't stand by just hearing that, so he had no choice but to put them right in their place, and he did it with such a perfect speech. However, this also means that Blue Lock can just level up a ton more gears if everyone completely locks in and thinks that they are the best in the world. Ego himself said that they didn't lose because France was too strong, but instead because it was their own team that was the problem. But it sounds like he still had faith in them, as he said that Blue Lock would be reborn. Anyway, this was a 10 out of 10 chapter, but let me know what you thought about it down below. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like. Also, if you can, hype the video down below, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.